What do these shoes mean? Oh, do they? Oh, really? What do they mean, look? What could that possibly mean? Ready? Put the key in the right way round and unleash the hounds! What? I know, right? Go, go, go. Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. It's blue sky that way, but big rainy clouds that way. It's time for another dog walk video. Not done one of these for a while. And for those of you who tuned in during my COVID-19 daily vlog, this was a regular occurrence. And I often get people say, oh, come on, do another dog walk. And normally I'll only do these if I've got something I want to get off my chest or a subject I want to have a talk to you guys about. And guess what? I've got one. And it's been triggered by a couple of comments on the channel over the last few months, I guess. And I thought I'd read one of the comments out. And I'm certainly not having a go at the person who wrote the comment, because I think actually it's a really valid thing. And I just wanted to give you my viewpoint and have a chat about it. So the comment goes, don't lose touch with the people who watched your channel from day one. Stay relevant to the masses and not just a few. Just my opinion, but I feel too many YouTubers are happy to have subscribers elevate them, but then become alien when other content to the original followers. Not just you, but sadly the majority of YouTubers seem to be in it for the same end. And that made me think, because this year has been amazing, over the last calendar year, because I built my dream garage. I've taken delivery of a Porsche Macan and recently taken delivery of a Porsche Spider. And those are very aspirational things for many. For me, for sure. I come downstairs and look at the garage and I have to pinch myself. I find it's amazing. And sharing that on the channel isn't me trying to flex. It's just me showing the reality of my life currently with cars. But it's not always been like that, and I thought that could be the chat we have today. Bouncy. Stop bouncing. Tell you what, you can tell the winter's coming in. I had to put a hoodie on after so many beautiful weeks, months of nice weather here in the UK. It's just starting to turn a little bit. But first thing I want to say is I am so proud of the community that we've created together over the last nearly 10 years. It will be 10 years in January since I started YouTube. And I know many of you have followed me from early days. Some of you may well have only joined the channel quite recently. I started YouTube 10 years ago really as a result of watching other people do YouTube. And I just thought, as a person who made a living out of being a presenter, and I like cars and I like driving, I just thought I'd give it a go. And I just started it as a hobby. And at the time, I had a little mini roadster, which I still have, Ruby, and we had an Audi S4. And I started making videos, and that was a complete hobby. I was, at the time, a director and part owner of a telecoms training business. So I had a full-time job, and I made YouTube videos at the weekend, just for shits and giggles, really. I never expected it would ever become anything more than just a hobby. And YouTube started to grow, and I'm sure many of you have followed the journey. You know, I started to get opportunities to do things, and my channel metrics started to grow, so more subscribers and more views. I then could monetize the channel, and it started to earn me a little bit of money. I thought maybe, you know, maybe the YouTube revenue, that might pay for the finance of my car. And then I started having to be really busy with YouTube. So at one point I was filming a TV show, Vintage Voltage, doing a training job and running a YouTube channel. So it's been a lot of hard work and effort over the last 10 years. And although, you know, I started off with my Mini and my Audi and I was just filming normal cars, as the channel grows, you get opportunities to drive other things. And I love cars, so when you get an opportunity to drive something really special, an aspirational car, you know, the first supercar I drove was an Audi R8, but then suddenly you get opportunities to drive McLarens and Ferraris, and you get asked if you want to drive a racing car, or you want to go to some really cool event, or you want to stay at a really nice hotel. For sure I'm going to do those things because, first off, for me, it's an amazing experience. And I know it's special, and I know I'm very lucky and fortunate to get that experience. But the power of YouTube is I can then share that experience with my audience. Because it may well be, and you've all got different circumstances and all of that kind of stuff, that you might not get the opportunity to drive a Ferrari or stay in a nice hotel or go on a drive tour. And therefore, the style of my videos, I've always tried to bring you on board in the car, try and make it feel like you could be sat next to me and enjoying that experience as well. And just because those experiences are nice and they're driving nice cars, I'm not flexing and saying, look at me. That comment I read out before was on the drive tour I did last week with Salon Privé in my Spider, and I'm surrounded by beautiful cars. I'm hugely lucky to be there in my car, but I'm not flexing and saying, looking at me. I'm just trying to share my life now. The week before that, I was filming with a £30,000 Dacia Bigster. You know, I try and kind of keep it real as much as I can anyway. Don't go in the puddles. One of my aims with YouTube is I've always just wanted to be as normal as possible. I am 53 years old. I've been very lucky in my life. I had a fantastic upbringing, loving parents. We didn't have loads of money, but we didn't go without anything really. We were so fortunate. I went to a good school, I went to university, I got a degree, and I managed to go into a good job, and I've worked ever since. And Tracy, she's had a stellar career really. She's had some amazing jobs, and we've both done well for ourselves. We've been sensible, we've saved hard, we've put money where it should be. We've had a lovely time, don't get me wrong. We bought nice things. We're lucky to own a house, and all of those things make us very, very fortunate. And I know for some that might come across as, again, look at me, and it really isn't. And I would hope that those of you who've met me in person, and I was literally at an event yesterday at Goodwood, and met quite a few of my followers, some I know, some meeting for the first time. And hopefully you'll attest to the fact that when you meet me in real life, I'm just like I am on YouTube really. I'm just me. I'm not trying to put on a show and act. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. Unlike some YouTubers I could mention. I have a horrible feeling I'm about to get wet. Look, hold on. Look at that big cloud over there. Oh well. Apologies now for any rain on the lens. So yeah, I'm not going to name names, but the thing that winds me up most about some YouTubers, I'm not a big fan of that term either, as it happens, I've just mentioned, I just want to portray myself as me. I'm not trying to pretend to be anybody else. I'm not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I am me. and I'm as genuine as possible. And there are so many YouTubers out there that portray an image on their channel that is just so far from reality. Whether that's having cars on the channel that are their cars when they're not. They're either press cars or loaners or owned by other people. Whether that's having a lifestyle that looks like it's funded by YouTube, but it's not. It's funded by money that they had before they started YouTube, often from businesses and success in life, which is all good, no problem with that at all. Or where they have a channel that's funded effectively by angel investors and other people. And when people watch that, especially young people, they may well get the incorrect impression that all you need to do is be a YouTuber and you can buy supercars and you can have this amazing lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, there are some guys out there on YouTube at the moment that are absolutely smashing it through hard work and brilliance in videoing. And the numbers that they're creating in terms of views and engagement are an inspiration to people like me. And they deserve every cent, penny, pound, euro of success. But when I get accused of not keeping it real, or YouTube money, or oh, YouTube must be doing well, look, you've just bought a Spider. Well, yes, I have just bought a Spider. It's on finance, so I haven't just gone out and bought it outright. And I'm 53, I'm kind of, you know, I'm not going to say getting towards the end of my career, but, you know, when you get to my age, retirement does start to be a thing you think about and plan for. But I've worked really hard during my career, and yes, I've got a car, yes, I've got finance, but it's blood, sweat and tears for me and Tracy to get us to that point, not some fancy angel investor or some money I haven't declared that I had before I started YouTube. And oh my God, it's raining. Ugh. What do we think, Bob? Hey? Hallie? What do we think about this rain? Not very nice, is it? Ugh. In terms of the cars I plan to showcase on the channel, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. I've always wanted to show a mix of cars. From affordable stuff to aspirational stuff, from petrol to electric. I've scaled back quite a lot this year on how many EVs I've been booking in and how many I've turned down lots of EV events, just because I just get that feeling that there's a little bit of pushback, and I think my audience is predominantly petrol or internal combustion engine, but I'll do a bit of both. I'm still going to do that for sure. And clearly I'm going to be making content around my cars. I've still got my Mini. I don't know whether there's a huge amount more I could do with the Mini, but the car, she's not going anywhere. I've had that car for forever, like 11 years, I think, pretty much. And I've got my 2 Porsches, so I'm still going to carry on doing a mix. And interestingly, that does me no favors as far as the algorithm's concerned at all, because my content is so diverse. I even do some bike stuff every now and again. The algorithm probably doesn't really know exactly what kind of channel I am, but I know, because I get feedback from you guys, that you like the mix. You like the fact that you tune in and you're never really quite sure what's coming, what's the next car. So for sure, aspirational stuff, performance car stuff, I love that. I love being able to get access to those things. And I know, you know, most of those cars I can't afford to buy either, but I just think they are, I grew up as a kid wishing I could sit in a Ferrari or drive a supercar, and there were posters on my walls and die-cast models on my bookshelf. And now I get the opportunity to be around that type of car, be around that type of vehicle. So cars with stories, I'm still going to carry on doing that. And hopefully you're going to enjoy the content I make. Well, fingers crossed anyway. right, I've got to talk about this one because it's the one kind of comment that triggers me and normally leads to me putting something on Instagram. And that are the comments around ads and commercial partners and how I use those, because the brutal reality of YouTube especially. So my main income, now I am full-time YouTube, my main income stream has always been YouTube ad revenue. And for some reason, and you speak to any creator at the moment, Google ad revenue from YouTube is really low. It's probably half what it was this time last year. So for the same number of views, I'm getting half the amount of money. And that has a huge impact. And I couldn't be a full-time YouTuber if it was just YouTube ad revenue. I would not make sense. I'd be better off going and doing my old job. So the only way it makes sense is other income streams. So I get some revenue from monetizing Facebook, and I've got a couple of other platforms I use. And then it's about commercial partners, and it's about ad placements. And that's a really tricky balance, because I've grown an audience that you guys are members of, and the only way I can fund making the videos you enjoy is to effectively monetize you, to go to brands and say, this is my audience, this is their demographic, this is my engagement levels with them. If I work with you, it may well be that some of my audience buy your products. And I have to be really careful which products I choose and which companies I work with. I get approached by hundreds a day and they all go in the bin. I'll probably respond to maybe 1 in 100, because I always try and work with partners that I think are organic to me, things that I use. So again, the comment that triggered this was on a reel I did last week for Michelin. I've been a Michelin brand ambassador now for 2 years, and part of that agreement is I get access and opportunity to film with really cool stuff and go to really cool events to make content. I get to learn more about tyres, and I get to share that knowledge and those events with my audience. And also I run Michelin tyres on my cars and on my bikes. And I put out a reel last week saying, I'm just put a new set of mountain bike tyres on my mountain bike because I'm doing the South Downs Way this coming weekend. And someone commented, yeah, we get the fact you work for Michelin, really, did you have to put all these ads out? Well, that's how it works. Unless you're on YouTube Premium, you are consuming my content for free. The amount of people who listen to commercial radio or watch commercial TV and have no problems with ads at all, yet for some reason they don't, or even read a magazine that's half ads. It's exactly the same business case or a financial way that we work. And I'm really selective, and I turn down a lot of things. I did a thing recently about, in my Midweek 180, about the Reclaim 24/7 car finance thing. And I point blank refused to do an ad integration for that. Yet every YouTuber and his dog's done one. And I just fundamentally disagree with doing an ad integration for that kind of business. I just don't, because you can go and do it yourself for free. So I have morals, and I try really hard just to select partners that I think will be of use to you, whether that's my long-term channel partners like Michelin, like Lockton Performance, like 50 Supercars. 50 is a brilliant example. I work with those guys, and I go down there to events like the drive out we did last week. I drive out cars from there that I can share with you, Alfa Romeo 8C, Singer 911s, cars I'd never get to drive, cars some of you may never ever see. I only get to do that because of that partnership. So it's a really tricky one. It's a fine line, a fine balance between finding, and I'll always mark any paid promotion as such on YouTube. That is the kind of rules that we have to abide by as creators. So it's clear from the start that there's a paid integration in there. Whether it's a dedicated video, I did a dashcam video recently, that was paid for by the dashcam company. Sometimes we'll do a project where I need to bring in someone to help me film, or there's some costs involved in doing a trip that just mean that if you did the trip and made the video, it would be a complete loss because you'd put more money into making the film that you'll ever get back in ad revenue. But if a partner comes on board with some budget and helps you make the film, I can make content that you enjoy. So it's a really fine balance, and I want you all to understand that I take your value as an audience incredibly seriously, and will only put stuff in front of you in terms of ads for things that I honestly and truly believe will be of benefit to you. Otherwise, it's pointless, right? So that's the fine line I'm going to have to tread. I'm very fortunate. I've got some amazing channel partners. I've got some new ones coming on board. I mean, Mivi is a really good example. I'm super excited about the stuff we're doing with those guys. So hopefully I'll continue to tread that fine balance and, you know, monetize in a way that works for me so I can carry on making the free content that you guys enjoy, but also doesn't annoy you too much in terms of putting ads in front of you. But loads of you bought Zunsport grills and saved loads of money. That's good, right? So it's not all bad news. What are you looking for? You gonna come and say hello to everybody? You're gonna carry on looking for rabbits? Hey, go on then, keep going. Go. Blue sky. Big rain cloud. So we're 2 miles into the walk, and I think we may well get wet on the way home, and this video is way longer than I thought it would be. I guess to finish off, I just want to share my life with you guys on YouTube. I'm very fortunate to do that. I will never take that for granted. And I will keep it real, but I think it's really important to inspire people, whether that's youngsters or whether that's someone middle-aged or whether that's someone who's just retired and wants to go out and buy a cool car and do a road trip. Because I think without inspiration, what is there? We just sit down and accept what we've got in front of us. And I've always believed that if you want to aspire to something, if you have a dream and you work really, really bloody hard and you have a single-minded determination, that those dreams can come true. And I look at my life now and I look at the beautiful family I have, me and Tracy and the dog, and the home we have and the cars we have. And they are a result of, don't get me wrong, a fair amount of luck thrown in, but a lifetime of really hard work. And I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing that with people and showing that. It's not a flex, it's just me living the life and showing how things have grown over the time I've been doing YouTube. But I will keep it real. I'm still going to ask press cars for the cheapest car on their fleet, and I'm still gonna get supercars and everything in between, and I hope that you come along for the journey and enjoy watching the content I make as much as I enjoy making it. But yeah, I can actually see, I'm gonna spin the camera around. It probably won't come out. I can actually see rain pouring down over there. Oh my God. Yeah, I think we need to head home. What do you reckon, dude? Should we head home? No, it's not that way. That's the long route. We're only doing 4 miles today. This way, come on. And it's raining. Anyway, I'm gonna head back. I might even run home. If you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. I think we might go and hide in the trees. I'll see you on the next one, guys. You take care. Drive safe. Come on, there's a tree up there, Bob. Come on, let's go. There's this tree. Oh, is it? Oh, it's better. Oh my God. Yeah, look at that. Grim.